Residents of Diepsloot, that's in the north of Johannesburg, they say they live in constant fear for their lives due to the rising crime levels in their community. Thabo Makgatho says his family was attacked last Friday night. He says a group of men, allegedly known to the community, entered his home and robbed his mother 8,000 rand.
After 2 or 3 hours, like mama to central station, so no potolne, uno guamoto atoma wula batla. How will a batla jiggy by tuncha, you can go to and show you. About tuncha, 1 bullet, like Asarenta, Babula, Limati, Bagan, about Banyaga Chelete, but 8,000, about Tuncha, good know 15 years.
Well, let's catch up with Nqobile Madlala, who is still in Diepsloot, following the developments there. Nqobile, good morning to you once again. So the conversation you had with the Makgatho family member, I think it puts it plainly as to who are the most vulnerable groups when it comes to the targeting of people for crime, and that is women. Talk to us about how they feel when night falls in particular, because that's when criminal activity is most rampant.
Well, a lot of them really not feeling safe in this area, Xoli. I mean, even yesterday when we spoke to some of the women that were at the protest action, they were just saying that they fear for their lives and that they're worried about the rape incidents that happens in this place, the rape cases. And also a lot of them now just showing that there's a lot of cases that remain unresolved in this area, and that's a major concern. In fact, I'm going to bring in Umama, who lives in this area as well, as a woman, Mama, and I understand, Uguti, at this point, as you were speaking to me, you were saying that there are cases that you have personally gone to the police station to ask what is happening with regards to that, but they have not been resolved. What are those cases, ma'am?
First case was in 2004, the 4th of June, where my son was knocked by the taxi on his way from school to home, and on the side of the road when the taxi driver was overtaking, and then he knocked my child, and then he didn't die on the scene. We went to hospital and stayed with him for 2 months. In August the 2nd, he was discharged from Madlala hospital while he was still in a coma and connected with NG tubes, and he died on the 3rd of August, the next day, in my hands, because I had no money and the doctor wanted to use the bed for the other patient who had money. And then the case was open, unfortunately was never resolved because we never went to court, and then I was never called until again in the 2018, where my sister's son, he was my son because his late mom was my young sister, biological one, were a young sister. And then I heard from the rumors that he had a conflict or a fight between him and his girlfriend who was pregnant. I didn't see her, I don't know her. And then during that fight, the girlfriend escaped, went to CPF, called them and told them that they are fighting with my sister's son. So the CPF arrived, and then they hit him and he hit them back, and then that's where he was brutally hurt, and then he went to hospital while he was about to die, and he died when the sister or the nurses were trying to connect the life support to him, and then he passed on. And the case was open, and then up to now, we didn't go to court, nobody arrested. I'm still on hold. I went to my police station too many times, to the case holder, the man who's in charge on this case, no reply. Even now I have the messages here, he didn't reply yet. So I don't know if the case is cancelled or what happened. And Spamandla Mazibuko was buried in KZN. on the 18th of November, and he was killed on the 4th of November 2018.
Mama Shaba, when you see such cases remaining opened and nothing being done, and you can see that there's rampant crime in the area, how do you sleep at night? Do you not fear for your life?
Unfortunately, I sleep in minutes. 30 minutes I'm asleep. Some hours I'm awake because I'm afraid. This is how we live in Diepsloot. We live in fear. And I'm just wondering that the leadership or the government who take the decision without our consent down here, the community, what are they thinking? They don't think sometimes to come down to the community to feel what we live in Diepsloot as dwellers, because time and then we are screaming for help. We indicate to our government that we are facing challenges in our area. Unfortunately, they don't come to us to listen to us, or maybe to try to come with a solution. I'm so surprised now. I've heard that the immigrants that are undocumented in South Africa are also given an extended period of 6 months, while the dwellers, the voters, the citizens are complaining down here. The crime rate is going high and high and higher every single day. We got many rape cases in our police station. Some of them are not even reported because people doesn't know where to go. Some of them, many rape cases, child abuse, women abuse. We women, we feel that the government, the ruling party now, they're always preaching up there child and women abuse, but they do not practice it. Time and then, I believe and I feel and I'm sure that they are the one who create this women and child abuse, because they bring and allow people who we are fear for them, people who doesn't have papers in the area.
All right, thank you very much, Mama, for speaking to us. And I want to bring you in as well, Mama, because you live in the area. Mama Shaba saying that she is scared and she feels that there's so much that can be done that is not being done. You live here. How do you feel?
Gape le nna nka e bea so gore bophelo bja ka mo Diepsloot a bo safe le ge le gore go mo Diepsloot re na le maphodisa a nka re go ba deployile mo Diepsloot, so mmereko wa maphodisa re a bona go mo Diepsloot a re o bone mmereko wa bona, cause ntwe e beng gona nna ke dula squatter camp. Even a single day a se ke bone le phodisa le patrola ka gare ga squatter camp. What they do ke gore ba patrola di main road, ba kirega di grachini, ba kirega mo tseleni, so maphodisa a rena a ba re deploy ngona mo Diepsloot. They are traffic coppers, ha se maphodisa ba tlela mmereko ba o diago, ba bitsa di koloi di ema ka tsela, so ntwe ba e diago ke go dia tjotjo. One day ke le ka reki jwa mmolo ba yemile number 5 ke na metsi ka pele ga Avanza, ba bitsa Avanza e tswela mo truko, ge yema mo truko ba re uwe futhi athi angithi ngiceda ngidlula khona lana, bathi okay hayi ngoba uwe hayi akuna nkinga, yaba uncha 20 rand so, yaba ke ile ka re ge ke ntsha phone yaba le already I'm late, o bile o mo file le ge nka re ke a shoota ba bile ba fani evidence a isa lego ntwe e beng gona Bekitele o ile a tla Diepsloot re bona nka re Bekitele o re fage, because crime Diepsloot ha e fokutsege o ka re e direga ka mata, mara rena maphodisa Eastern Cape a Limpopo ke maphodisa mangata a nka re ke a bone mo Diepsloot, mara crime e diregala under their nose. So ke ntwe ke iputsisa gore Bekitele a ba tlisetsa ine Diepsloot, which means the government ya rena ga re e re fail, we are not safe.
Thank you very much, Mama. Well, Polly, she's explaining how unsafe she feels in this area. Just talking about the fact that even though that the minister had come here, they still feel like they were not in any way assisted. So they do feel that it's very difficult for them to live in this area. And of course, there is that notion that they feel that the police are not doing the work. And they're saying that they've seen things like bribery taking place. And they couldn't even do anything about that. But whilst we know that there is a delegation that is trying to get that audience with the president, now Diepsloot is back to normal. You can see people are now back to the way that they have lived. Some of the small businesses behind me that sell things like food already ongoing. There's a lot more that's happening. We've seen cars are continuing as per normal. Kids have gone to school. It continues as per normal. The life here continues as per normal. But we do know that that delegation is seeking that audience. But if they do not get that audience, they said that Friday is probably the time that they are going to decide what happens, especially on the road, because that's the only language they feel that the government at this moment understands from them.
Nqobile Madlala live for us in Diepsloot, and it is a fluid situation, a story that continues to develop, so we shall see what happens after that delegation has returned from the union buildings.